European Union commits over 900 million euros to support Nigeria's sustainable development. Avoid panic buying, Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, tells motorists. Plus, gold scales 3-month peak as Middle East conflict lifts demand. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Musa Abubakar, your guide. Well, let's begin the program by telling you that the House of Representatives says it will scrutinize and swiftly pass the 2024 appropriation bill once it is presented by President Tinubu to sustain the January-December budget cycle. This was emphasized during the inaugural meeting of the House Committee on Appropriation. Amina Saidu reports.
Chairman of the Committee on Appropriations, Abubakar Bichi, says the committee will facilitate pre-budget meetings with relevant MDAs and sustain a collaborative relationship with its counterparts in the Senate and other stakeholders.
In furtherance of this significant duty, the committee leadership will initiate a strategic meeting with the Chairman of Finance, National Planning, and Aid, Loan and Debt Management to gather data that will facilitate the effective function of this committee of ensuring inclusive budget preparation, appreciable implementation, and effective oversight.
Members assure the chairman of the support and commitment towards achieving the core mandates of the committee.
The chair is definitely going to work with the members with a view to ensuring that, we have efficiently delivered the required assignment.
The House Committee on Appropriations is vested with the responsibility of appropriating funds for the execution of government projects and programs. From the National Assembly, Amina Saidu.
Now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, says the country has stock of fuel to last for 30 days. In a statement on Thursday, NNPC Retail, the national oil company subsidiary, said petrol queues in Lagos and some other parts of the country are due to reduced depot loadout in Apapa, adding that the reason behind the lag has since been addressed. NNPC therefore advised motorists to desist from panic buying as distribution will normalize over the next couple of days. Meanwhile, oil prices extended gains on Friday and were on track to rise for a second week on heightened fears that the Israel-Gaza crisis may spread in the Middle East and disrupt supply from one of the world's top producing regions. Brent crude futures was up 75 cents to $93.13 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was at $90.04 a barrel, up 67 cents. The front month November contract expires on Friday. Still on commodities, gold prices hit a 3-month high this Friday and were set for a second straight weekly gain, with demand bolstered by Middle East conflict and expectations that the Federal Reserve's rate hikes are nearing an end. How much are other commodities selling? Let's see. Now, acting chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zak Adedeji, has allayed fears being expressed by corporate organizations that the resolve of FRS to increase the country's tax-to-GDP ratio to 18% from 10.86% will lead to increase in taxes. In a statement, Adedeji said such resolve will not necessarily lead to increase in taxes or introduction of new taxes, as the President Bola Tinubu-led administration is determined to create a wholesome environment for businesses to flourish. The FRS chairman stated that the agency under his leadership will, in the next 3 years, achieve 8% rise in tax-to-GDP ratio to surpass Africa's average of 16.5% without stifling investment or economic growth. The plan had triggered muffled apprehensions that the decision could cause an increase in tax rates or introduction of new ones. Well, recently the CBN lifted ban on 43 items from Forex. Now to speak on the issue, we'll now look at Forex and exports is our focus on the program. And I'm being joined by CEO CEO of the Institute of Export Operations and Management, Nigerian Ofan Udofia, who joins us from Port Harcourt. Mr. Ofan, can you hear me? Mr. Ofan, can you hear me?
Hi, Ben, how are you?
I'm good, Mr. Udofia. I'm very good. How's Port Harcourt?
Yesterday it was actually raining in Port Harcourt, but today is sunny, so we're having a good time.
Okay, well, beautiful. Let's delve into it. Actually, there's been this conversation about lifting on ban on FX of 43 items from the decision made by CBN to see how they could encourage or boost the market with needed foreign exchange. How does this move affect our exports?
We believe already there's pressure on our foreign exchange. It will also affect our export if they are able to get dollar or foreign exchange to bring in these materials. It's also going to affect our local production. But be as it may, like somebody from Kano was talking about rice, that they can allow that to come in. But my fear is that where do we still get this foreign exchange to do this? Yes, you might say that you can get it from the open market or from the so-called black market, but we need to generate this foreign exchange in order for the local or black market to have it. So lifting the ban is good, but where do we still source the foreign exchange? It's true that CBN is not going to give them, but are going to source for it from the open market or from the black market, so to speak. But what volume of export have we done that will bring in the dollar into the economy? So that is just my worry.
The issue of supplying the needed dollar, then what do we do about our exports? How do we take advantage of the fact that Naira is exchanging for more than 1,000? And when you look at it, if we factor this into our export, we somehow get the needed foreign exchange.
All hands should be on deck. This is the time that Nigeria will either export or perish. Because even when you import, what do you use in doing the import? It's the foreign exchange you use. And by the time the product comes into the country, it will become expensive. How many people can afford to buy? So you see, it becomes a problem. So everybody had to look at the side of export, from farming to processing to aggregation to merchandising until we export. Otherwise, there will be a very big problem. The last time we spoke, I told you sometimes in September that I am afraid that dollar might get into 1,000 in December. But before December, we are already here. So which means if care is not taken, nothing is done, and it might get up to 1,005 by December. I know that what means. So what it means that we have to make conscious effort. Everybody needs to be involved from this, even from the university angle. We should start thinking about export, not only product but as services. We should, as a matter of fact, do everything possible to export what we have to aid the foreign exchange to cushion the effect that it is having on our local currency. And more than that, the banks themselves, apart from going to look for exporters, they should have a conscious plan on how do you train more exporters. Your importers that are looking for foreign exchange to do imports should also think of a backward integration of how will they export in order to use the foreign exchange they're earning to do their imports, which in a way will balance our trade. So otherwise, there's nothing we can do but to export. The answer is let's export, let's export. We should build and produce more to be able to export. Otherwise, we have a very big problem.
Okay, the last time we spoke, you talked about, I mean, you mentioned that you're one of the members of this committee set up to see how the Nigerian goods that are being rejected out there, how it can be standardized in such a way that it will be acceptable out there. I would like to know how much of this has been put on the table with the coming in of the new minister, and the new agencies have actually somehow got new appointees. How much of this has been put on the table to really discuss to see how we can improve our exports?
Community of on the social media, on WhatsApp, where all the experts meet there, and well, I would say fortunately or unfortunately, our chairman has just retired from Federal Ministry of Agriculture, but that does not stop him, Dr. Lele, from doing his work. We have come up with so many issues, because when you are talking about rejects, it starts from home. There are things we need to put in place. Our product, most of them are not certified. Our farms are not certified. So I believe that the incoming Minister of Agriculture, in conjunction with the one for trade and the other relevant agencies, will look at the document that was submitted to them and see what we need to do. Because export is not just like selling locally. The person that wants to buy from you has a standard you must meet. There's no sentiment. I just spoke with somebody this morning trying to get some market for people, export market for some products. What the man told me is from America. I said, the challenge with Nigerian products is consistency on specification, consistency on quality. So I think we need to look at this. We should not just leave it for the exporter himself. He needs support, he needs help. Exporters should be trained. They should see what are the things we need to give to them. What are the things we need to do for them. Even the farmers, we need to send extension officers that are trained. We don't have to know them any longer, because at this stage, agriculture was not something you can talk about. Go to some universities, everybody wants to do computer science, they want to do oil and gas. At this stage, we did not have a lot of people doing agriculture. We need to go back to what has kept us even before independence and a little bit after independence. We need to get people that will understand what is being needed internationally if you are exporting. What are the standards? What are the specifications that you need to meet? What are the kind of pesticides you need to use? So the committee at that stage has submitted their report. So it is left for the relevant agency for them to look at it and say, what do we really do? Of a truth, we are talking so much about export in this country, but we are doing less. The exporters need to be supported. The farmers need to be supported. The processors need to be supported. And then we should now look at how we can have local standardization body. Like one lady at one company in Lagos, in Abuja, is doing fine, nice, we should support her and see how many farms are certified, so that when we send our product out, there would not be any reason for rejection, because it should have been certified and the certification agency has said, okay, this is from Nigeria, you can take this.
Now, Mr. Odofia, I would like to pick your thought on this growing apprehension about the issue of Naira to CFA franc, a situation whereby in neighboring countries, the CFA franc seems to appreciate over the Naira, and the neighboring countries seem to be buying our farm produce because they still, I mean, they find it cheaper because of the stronger CFA franc we're seeing. In this situation, what do we do to make sure that we've not actually take our farm produce and sell it to these people? At the end of the day, the same farm produce will be, or agricultural produce will be used for raw materials, being processed, then brought back to Nigeria.
To buy. But the first thing we need to do, that there must be government willpower. I know there was a time some months ago that a circular was issued that non-Nigerians should not go to the farm gates to buy from us. Apart from people from the neighboring countries, other foreigners, other Asians and other countries are also doing that. And you see, because the CFA has value higher than us, so they are on advantage if they buy from us, instead of us using that. It will also interest you. Up till now, some companies are still importing palm oil because we cannot meet local demand. And you see, when they talk about palm oil, for instance, there is no dedicated line. When I say dedicated line, export line for palm oil, to be specific. Like if you are doing petroleum product now, we have tank farms. If I'm to do 300 or 400 metric tons, 1,000 metric tons of palm oil, how do I take it? Which tankers? Which tank farm do I have? And most of these things are buy in bulk. So you see that it becomes an issue because these people have an advantage over the currency. So what we need to do is that government can put an embargo on this, that no foreigner can go to our farm gate, and then make provision for dedicated export bay for some products, to specific product. Apart from palm produce, we have an issue with maize. If case not taken, this year, December, we may be paying more than 30,000 for one fowl, one bed, one chicken. Why? Because the cost of maize has gone so high that production of feed becomes an issue. So government should look at it. How do we stop foreigners from coming to our farm gate? As a matter of fact, you cannot go to any country, even foreign country, even the Asian countries, and go to the farm gate. No, you work with an intermediary. So if that is done, this intermediary will be able to sell most of their products to the company that are buying them for local consumption. Like we have a lot of feed mills that people are servicing them. But if people comes outside to buy from us, it becomes an issue. So that should be stopped. We must have willpower. As a matter of fact, it pains me that when you want to import from other people, they send to you. But when they come here, they come and buy and take it away from Nigeria. So government needs to do something about that, because otherwise we will not even be able to export. Because by the time you buy with Naira and want to export, you see that because these other people are coming to buy with dollars, it may give you a disadvantage that you will not have a lot of quantity to buy in order to meet your export demands.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ofonodofia, CEO of the Institute of Export Operations and Management, Nigeria. Thank you for sharing your thought with us. Move to support Nigeria's push towards sustainable development and digital inclusivity, the European Union has signed a series of financial agreements worth more than 900 million euros with the federal government. Nekaoko reports that the joint initiative signed during the EU-Nigeria strategy dialogue in Abuja aims to drive Nigeria's economic growth.
The agreements cover energy, digital economy, trade and investment, health, migration, as well as peace and security, deepening their partnership and a shared commitment to create a sustainable future. Of the total funds, 29 million euros to be invested in climate-smart agriculture, 37 million euros in sustainable energy, while 45 million euros go to health services.
We will also start cooperation on the reduction of methane emissions from gas production, which shall notably guarantee its export, and on the recycling of plastics.
The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, hailed the agreements as a testament to the strong relationship between Nigeria and the EU, stating that they would help to drive economic growth.
We believe that some of the items we discussed today will not only expand our economic growth, economic development, but will serve to reduce some of the peace and security issues that have been identified, including the illegal immigration.
As both parties move forward in implementing these agreements, hopes are high for a fruitful cooperation that will yield tangible results and mutually beneficial outcomes. In Abuja, Neka Oko.
Similarly, Nigeria and China are re-strategizing bilateral ties with a win-win agenda that is geared towards growth and development of both countries at the 2023 Abuja Forum. Correspondent reports that the forum is pushing for a new chapter that seeks to promote Africa-China Belt and Road cooperation for a new era of common development. As the third largest trading partner in Africa, Nigeria and China bilateral relations is growing from strength to strength. This forum, credited to Gusau Institute and its partners, is to further explore how Nigeria-China mutual partnership can be extended to areas of inclusive growth and development.
I'm curious to see how Africa-China partnership will help us develop the discipline of implementation and effective delivery.
Respond to renew the hope with a renewed state. SPED, renewed state. And as there, we can say security. We need to renew the security. And also, two E here, the first E, we need to renew the education.
Combating maritime piracy on the Gulf of Guinea, closing trade deficit gap and infrastructural development, as well as capacity building, dominate discussions at the forum. This is as the countries continue to build on trade relations that has surpassed $20 billion over the years.
I've earlier paid a visit to the Chinese embassy to indicate our interest in partnering with them for infrastructure development. We're trying to open up Taraba to tourism.
They tell us some ideas they have, and also we exchange ideas. That there is cooperation where we can learn something from them and where they can learn something from us.
The annual forum is a platform that is designed to strengthen Nigeria's security through partnership in all areas of human endeavor. In Abuja, Musa Abubakar. Now, Bosede is standing by for global market update. Bosede, what's happening? What are the sentiments there?
Hello, Musa. Welcome to Global Market Review. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell acknowledged recent signs of cooling inflation, but said Thursday that the central bank would be resolute in its commitment to its 2% mandate. However, U.S. stock futures dipped early Friday as traders focus on a recent run high in the 10-year Treasury yield. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average were down 68 points, S&P 500 0.19%, and Nasdaq Composite also dipped 0.24%. European equity market opened at a 7-month low Friday as investors digested comments out of the U.S. and global sentiment shooters. DAX dipped 1.29% across 14,851.08, FTSE 0.84% at 7,436.87, and the CAC 40 also depreciated 1.18% at 6,840.02. Asia markets were all lower Friday, extending losses from Thursday's broad sell-off. Japan's Nikkei 225 closed 0.54% at 31,259.36. The Shanghai Composite dipped 0.74%, and the Hang Seng Index followed suit at 0.72% at 17,172.13 basis points. Same negative trend spread across Africa, with most stocks like South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40, Tunisia and Namibia's overall index posting red. That's the global market review at the close of this week's trading session. Over to you, Musa. I am Boside Abel.
Thank you, Boside. This is where we end this edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on the NTA's channel. Business Express returns next week. I'm Musa Abubakar. Enjoy the rest of your day.